All right, welcome back to the channel. So, Keith Thurman shares a story about what Danny Garcia said after the Errol Spence Jr. Shawn Porter fight, and I think that it is very telling. Um, but fool's gold can get you. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. Errol Spence Jr. is about to fight Danny Garcia in a pay-per-view event on Fox. I think it's this November. Please forgive me. I'm getting old, so and I'm playing with my mic. If anybody got a problem with me doing this with my mic, man, just give me a break, okay? I am just talking to you, man, like you're sitting in the living room, and sometimes you got to take a drink of water. You got to move your mic around. It'll be okay. Now, that said, Errol Spence Jr., Danny Garcia is a fight that I'm really looking forward to. Looking forward to seeing how Errol Spence Jr. is looking in the ring after his car accident. Looking forward to seeing Danny Garcia in the ring anytime because I'm a big Danny Garcia fan. I mean, I like his dad. A lot of people think his dad is wild and all that. Man, I ain't got no problem with dads loving their kids, supporting their kids, and just being behind their kids 100 miles an hour, whether it is Floyd Mayweather Sr., whether it is Bill Haney and Devin Haney, Shawn Porter and Kenny Porter, doesn't matter, man. And Danny Garcia, Angel Garcia, because there's a real love between those two people there. So, love those guys. And I know that what they're in it for, they're in it to take care of their kid for the most part. You got some other crazy dads, but for the most part, that's what they're about. So love all of those fighters. I love everything about this fight coming in. Errol Spence Jr. and Errol Spence Sr. Let's not forget about those guys either. That's another father and son. That's another father and son team. Even though, Errol Spence Jr. Sr. is like in the corner. He's not the trainer, but he's still there helping guide his career, helping his son navigate his career. Love that stuff. So this fight with Danny Garcia, right after the fight, Keith Thurman, who also I do believe is trained and worked with his dad, said that Danny Garcia thought that stuff was sweet after he got done watching the fight with Errol Spence Jr. and Shawn Porter, and said he gets hit way too much. If he gets hit that much against me, oh man, I got him. So Danny Garcia is obviously feeling really, really amped about it. However, pump your brakes on this, man. Pump your brakes, because Errol Spence Jr. fought Shawn Porter that style because he wanted to prove something to Shawn Porter. You could listen to all of the interviews on the lead up, and Errol Spence Jr. just said, I'm knocking you out. I'm knocking you out. What's your game plan to knock you out? I'm knocking you out. So Errol was just going to fight, trying to go knock out Shawn Porter, and Shawn Porter caught him with some good stuff. He wasn't able to knock out Shawn Porter. He wound up getting Shawn Porter and knocking him down, but not being able to knock him out. But that was his game plan. His game plan was to take some and give some. But I suspect with Shawn Porter that he knew that Shawn Porter really doesn't carry that much power. Like, Shawn Porter is not really famous for hurting people when they get him. He's more of he's actually a very, very versatile boxer. Like, surprised, not for the reputation that he has, for what I've seen over the last several fights, dude, he really does have the ability to box very, very well. And on top of that, grapple and grab and do all of that stuff. So, Errol Spence Jr. probably felt like he wasn't as much at risk taking shots from if he was going to get hit with something by Shawn Porter. So he felt like he could go in there and, and just get him out of that. That was his goal. With Danny Garcia, I don't think that he would probably, he would have to worry about that left hook, and he's going to plan for that left hook and all that good stuff, and and be able to work around it. If Errol Spence Jr. is anywhere near what he was, and he decides just to box and win the fight and make sure he takes it easy on his body, I don't see how Danny Garcia is going to be able to beat him. He's too slow of foot, too slow a hand. I mean, he has excellent timing, but I don't know, man. I don't really see him being able to time Errol Spence Jr. coming in or going out. Errol Spence Jr. has, sneaky good defense. It's not, a lot of the, or blocks and parries or whatever, and, slight slips and things like that. Not necessarily, the on the back foot type of stuff that you might see, Terrence Crawford do from time to time, or Devin Haney do time for time. But he's just got all those abilities over him, man. So I can't see it. But Danny Garcia thinking that's the case, that's cool. That could actually work. That could work to Errol Spence Jr.'s benefit if Danny Garcia thinks he's that easy to hit, and then comes in there and realize, oh no, this dude is really not that easy to hit. And actually, people have been saying Errol Spence Jr. is easy to hit for his whole career, even though I honestly, man, I can tell you, I have not really seen that dude take that much punishment. I will tell you, the two fights where I saw him take a little bit of punishment with Kell Brook, but pretty much that was just jabs, like his coming over the top of his jab. That was some damage. And then what you saw off the jaw, his swollen jaw against Shawn Porter. But other than that, I haven't really seen him get touched up very much, despite this reputation he has for having poor defense, which I just don't understand, man. Now, moving forward after the fight, though, and I said this on another video, man. Like, it's Keith Thurman saying this about what Danny Garcia said, right? I'm thinking to myself when I hear this, definitely based off what I said. I did a video yesterday where I pretty much laid out what I thought. That, man, Errol Spence Jr. has just got the hardest road imaginable for him at welterweight. Like, this guy is super throwback, man. Super throwback. Or the people that are scheduling him just as like, hey, man, you're going to be our workhorse or something. But, dude, that's probably what it is. That's a better way to say it. Dude, he is the workhorse who is holding down the 147-pound division. To have fought all these back-to-back fights, from Kell Brook to Lamont Peterson, skip Carlos Ocampo, we know what he was, to Mikey Garcia to Shawn Porter, now to Danny Garcia, and then the next fight that he has rumored for himself is I think it's another match with Shawn Porter, and then a fight with Keith Thurman or Manny Pacquiao, then Terrence Crawford. I asked people in my live stream, and I'm gonna ask you to too, put it in the comment section. Who is there in boxing that has a schedule like that? And if he gets through this schedule, he should without a doubt be the number one pound for pound fighter in the world. Without a doubt. Because there's nobody else that would have done anything remotely like that. And it also shows you something else. That BoxRec doesn't always. BoxRec is tricky. Looking at people's records is tricky. Because you can see the guy's record, right? You see like 13-1 or 37-2-1, but I don't know what Shawn Porter's record is, but dude, you don't get to see the actual fighter when you look at BoxRec, right? When you look at the titles and somebody said they won, like Monster Inoue, who I'm always on, because honest, for real, man, that dude, just stop with all this pound for pound stuff, man. You guys ain't even watching this guy fight, but yet you got him on how are you gonna vote for somebody on a pound for pound list that you don't even watch fight? You don't really even and you definitely have not watched the people that he fought fight. You know what I mean? So I can say with Errol Spence Jr. that I know who he fought, but I also know who everybody he fought, who they fought. And that speaks for the level of his competition, right? Monster Inoue had a hard time with Nonito Donaire. Nonito Donaire, if Errol Spence Jr. would have that would be like Errol Spence Jr. having a hard time with Sergio Martinez. If Sergio Martinez went down to 147 pounds and fought right now, that would be like Errol Spence Jr. getting beat up by Sergio Martinez at 147 pounds. You would have to look like that. You'd have to look at that like, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure. But when you have like Mikey Garcia, you know what Mikey Garcia's record is. You know that Shawn Porter is a two-time champion at 147 and just came off, and it's a rematch off of an extremely tough fight. You know Danny Garcia gave both Keith Thurman and Shawn Porter the best fights that he could have given him without winning. So, and you see all of these guys are of that same level. And this guy and Amir and Danny Garcia also has knockout wins and dominated a weight class below that. Keith Thurman was unified at 147. It's just you can't get any deeper than the competition that he's fighting. This is like, quite honestly, if he goes through this, dude, this is legendary type of stuff, man. Legendary type. That's legendary type of stuff if he can get through that. And I certainly hope he can, because I'm an Errol Spence Jr. fan. And we'll see. But that's what Danny Garcia had to say. You let me know what you think of the conversation. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. With that, I'm out. I'm going to holler at you. Peace.